Alright, Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. So, I've been a moderator for this game for quite a while, and I've known about it for quite a while in terms of speedrunning. I know there's a SDR run, SDA run, sorry. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of do, this is a speedrun that I did of the individual chapters that I made. There's basically 10 chapters in the game, and this is the first chapter called Ceylon. So as you can see, the basic movement in this game is rolling. It definitely seems to be the fastest way to move, especially if you can chain it together with chain it like you can in Prince of Persia Warrior, where you press it gradually. If you time it right, you'll do a roll really fast and stuff. So this roll mechanic comes into play to do a lot of skips in this chapter and in the run in general. I will probably run the full game eventually, but I just want to kind of get the game out there, get a few more people knowing about it, because I think it could be a good speed game. So yeah. The one thing I have to complain about is like switching between weapons and stuff. It's very awkward. You basically have to click a lot of keys, and if you use the mouse scroll, it's just not fast. I would also like to point out that there should be load screens in the middle of each level, but for some reason my OBS didn't pick them up. I have no clue why. They usually are there. They're like a little load screen FMVs, but they're not there for some reason when I went back and looked at the video. So these first two levels are just basic movement, really, rolling here and there and stuff. There is well, I say these first two levels. There's a skip in this level. Basically, the run on SDA had a skip in it. But you can do a faster way to do it by using the new roll. Well, I wouldn't say a new roll, but I've just figured out a way to use this roll to skip a lot of sections, which I'll point out. So right here, this is done with SDA. You can roll here to skip going down. But when you climb up, SDA would usually get onto the rope and swing across. But you can just roll to that ledge and then climb up, and then you can roll down here. So I roll at the right at the end there to skip doing the slide, so I can just get straight into the water. But yeah, that trick that I did, just skipping the rope, is it's the first roll to grab the ledge is pretty difficult, but it's not just that. It's the fact that the guy on top can shoot you with the shotgun when you climb up, and you'll get knocked back. It's a very difficult run. I'm gonna say that now. If someone did a full, I know people have done full game runs, but I'm talking about a good full game run, an optimized full game run with all the new skips I'm going to find or have found already. I'm pretty sure it'll be pretty difficult. So yeah, each chapter consists of small levels. This one has about 6 or 7, I think. But yeah, this is the third level in the chapter. And right here you can jump to this ledge, and you're supposed to shimmy across to the left, but you can just climb up it. Don't know why. This level's actually really short. You just basically do that, then you go up here, and then you get an explosive and blow up the wall, and that's it. But yeah, these enemies here can be quite a pain in the ass, so I try to punch this guy to move him out of the way so I can pick up the explosive. Like, I'm gonna not be killing a single enemy in this chapter. I only routed up to like the second level of chapter 2, and that's about it. Like, I've played this game a lot when I was a kid, but I've never speedrun it. Now, in terms of glitches, you can get out of bounds when you're swimming, but it's very hard, and I don't know if it'll be useful in certain areas. Maybe I'll have to see, but in terms of getting out of bounds without swimming, I don't think it's possible. I mean, maybe if you do some like certain jumps to get out of bounds, then maybe, but clipping through walls, no. So yeah, this one's just a bit of movement. Not really much to say about this. You just follow the intended route. This level is just basically you have to kill those guys at the start. Then we just follow the intended route. Now here I did an extra swing, and I was meant to jump there to jump onto the vine, but I rolled too late, so I didn't have enough room. But yeah, I just want to kind of get this game out there. I know Kat said if I can make the run interesting, he said he'd give it a go. But I think it could be a good speed run. Because one, it's challenging, and two, it just seems like it could be an interesting speedrun. Now, facts. This game runs at 30 FPS on PC. You can uncap it, but I wouldn't recommend doing it. I'm gonna, because since I'm the mod for the game, I'm gonna say to keep this run at 30. It isn't that bad since it's a third person platformer. 30 FPS is not that bad, but the camera can be a pain in the ass. If there's enemies near you and you need to set up a specific trick, get your gun out. When your gun is out, he won't lock onto the enemies. And that's used in the first level of the chapter 2. I'll probably end up doing an individual level of that at some point too. But yeah, you use it there. So right here, I'm going to be doing something where I swim close to the ground, and as you can see, I get a big speed boost. If you go near to the floor, like close to the floor but not like all the way at it, you swim really fast, and that helps me get past this alligator without it grabbing me. And I use the same thing in a later level too. Yeah, so this is just you basically pull these two switches and then jump into the water. Not really much to say. So right here, I lose my hat. I don't know what this is all about, but basically, right there at the start of the level, for some reason you end up really low. I don't know if that's my computer or something, but yeah, you end up really low. So here I'm gonna manipulate swimming fast to get past this alligator. Doing this strat right here is very risky, but it's all dependent on what the alligator does, and it's not consistent. For what they where they are or what they're doing, it's a very RNG. Now here you're supposed to pull a switch, but you can literally just roll across this gap. Basically, there's a switch you pull and it brings down this cage that you jump on, and then you can jump to this area, but you can just jump to it anyway without having to pull the switch. So that's nice. It skips the switch. So here I'm taking a drink to get my health up because there's some traps coming up, and there's a level later on where I need a lot of health. Yes, so these traps. And there's, so I said, like, there's traps later on that I need my health for, so I need to get my health back there so I can use the bottle for the later level. So right here, you're supposed to take this rope, but you can just roll down. And then we have to roll across this gap. Now, rolling back across is very awkward because of the angle of the ledge, but he seems to grab it most of the time. So yeah, we skipped most of that, what that level wanted to do for us, like what it wanted us to do. This next level is just pretty simple, really. You just get on a cage. Now it's weird because, like, if you notice right here, I get stuck. If you're like pushing against the wall, he just stands still, and it's just awkward. But yeah, now I did this really slow here. I rolled, and then I fell down. I was meant to do another roll, so I didn't hit the cutscene. Yeah, right here we're going to do a little skip. It's an intended skip you can do where you just jump up here and then you can just swing across. Like it's an intended faster route. Now these two guys can be a pain in the ass. As you'll see. I climb up, he hits me. I stay up there, but then I fall back down. Like, that's one of the places where, like, there's nothing you can do. Yeah, so we just jump across to this rope, and then we climb up. But yeah, I think the skips in this game are not going to be too big, but they're going to be interesting. And the main reason they can't be too big is because this game is split into loads of little levels. So that's why I think it's going to be a good speed game, because you can't skip a lot of the levels, but you can do mini skips in the levels, and I think that's why it's going to be good. Now, I know the fastest time for this whole game is about 1 hour and 39 minutes, which is the SDA run. And there was another full game run that was done by some guy. It was like 2 hours and something. So yeah, we just basically wait here for the thing to come down. Then we pull the switch to take the cage back up. And the reason I wanted to do the voiceover for this is just to, you know, explain about the run and how it could be a good speed game. So yeah. So this is the level I needed the health for. So that's why I topped up my water bottle and filled up my health in the earlier sections. Because basically this level is supposed to be long and you're supposed to pick up these skulls and just throw them to get past these bats. But if you roll right as you step onto the concrete, most of the time you'll avoid their shots.
Maybe I can trick it into shooting at something else.
So yeah, this level's pretty short. As you can see, I get under the concrete and then I roll. Like, it's a good thing that these shots that they do don't take, like, that they don't do a lot of damage to you. And yeah, that was the level. It's pretty short if you just roll past everything. So this is the final level of the chapter. It's a pretty long level and it's pretty fucking cancer. And the reason is, this part right here, the alligator is a pain in the ass. Like a serious pain in the ass. Doing that, what I just did there, is the fastest way to do it, but it's so risky because if you make one movement mistake trying to get up, he's going to kill you. So now we're just going to wait for a certain point. I look at a visual cue, and as soon as I see it, I run forward and roll, and he will grab the cage before it goes underwater. If you roll too late, you'll basically, even though it looks like you should grab it, he won't. So I go to the side of that cage there to basically to jump onto both of the chains, because usually you'd have to like rotate yourself. And now here I go into this corner to do the same thing, so I don't have to like turn, because turning with the ropes and chains is very slow. Now I'm gonna use first person to turn around there so I can jump onto the chain. Now I do the same thing. I go over to the right and then angle myself so I don't have to rotate the chain. Now here I'm gonna do a roll to skip jumping. And now right here, I messed this up. This is one of the major mistakes of my run. I went to set up this because you can skip this chain by rolling, but I got confused. I needed to be at a certain spot to do the roll, but the big chain in the middle of the thing got me stuck. So right here, this is nearly the end of the level. So we're just gonna swim to this. Now that's RNG. Sometimes the alligator can be right there waiting for you as you swim past. Now right here, I got out my sword to chop the things, but it just wouldn't chop. As you can see, I'm swinging, it just wouldn't chop. For some reason, according to the game, I wasn't close enough, even though I was. So yeah, and then we just swim in the direction, and then we just come up, and then it'll trigger the cutscene. If you were doing a full game run, you just skip this cutscene. But yeah, that's chapter 1, Ceylon. It seems like it's going to be a hard run, an interesting run to watch, maybe one to actually do competitively, because there's loads of places where you'll die, but there's loads of places that have opportunities for skips if you can maintain your health well and stuff. But yeah, it's going to be a really interesting run. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, guys.